And let me introduce Rajneesh from Bendu Networks, who is over 20 years of software development experience, and he's now the Director of Software Engineering at Bendu, driving a lot of the discussions around the software-defined edge, both for converged networks as well as fixed networks, and looking at areas such as BNG, 5G, and AGF. So Rajneesh, over to yourself.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, hi, this is Rajneesh Patnagar. Can you see the screen?
We can indeed.
Awesome. Let's dive right into the presentation. So a little bit about Bendu Networks. We're a company that's been established in 2010. We've been around for a while. We're headquartered in the Boston area. We have offices all over the world, and we consider ourselves as a leading provider of SDH solutions, primarily an engineering-led company of more than 80% of our employees are all engineers, and this is a little intro to the company. Where does Bendu sit in the network? We've seen the previous presentation of how a BNG or WAG would, how the access and service delivery would be provided to our environment, and we are using we have an SD Edge platform which provides various delivery mechanisms and sits on the edge of the network. Our definition of the edge is effectively the transformation of a packet from your access network into the core network. So we've got software that provides does Wi-Fi hotspot services in a WAG type technology. We do BNG, the same software platform which ends up running your broadband environments, and migrates to providing you with SASE for access, SASE for enterprise and remote work, where you can actually provide integration to for services for things like firewalls and security that can be provided to environments. Subsequently, with the convergence and access of technologies being developed, we are into 5G, AGF, and UPF style software load built on the same platform and managed in the cloud with our service environment. What we've also done is shrunk our edge platform and put it onto a UCPE model because of the technology transformations that I'll go into later. And you can run these services on your on-premise WAN edge, is what we call it. Bendu products are deployed at scale at various networks around the world. This is a list of our customers that we've been in networks providing the WAG functionality. We move more than 7 petabytes a day, and there's up to upwards of 25 million homes and business that have been connected at these various sites. Most of us we work with key partners to enable our technologies. Dell and Intel provide infrastructure and switch vendors, along with the vendors that provide orchestration platforms. And so this is where we've been moving traffic in. Now, coming to the major portions of how we envision technology and the transformations that are occurring, we look at three triangles from the things that have happened in the industry. We've got things like cloud, the hyperscalers, which allow you to manage workloads and provide the ability to deliver smaller spin-up containers, etc., and provide highly manageable scale solutions. And on the wireline side, as we've seen with the ONT, the capacity of that network is growing using, from the DSL days all the way up to, 10 gig and now 25 gig and 100 gig traffic coming through that, and most of the bandwidth goes through that environment. So that's another technology transformation that's affecting these networks. And the third is the wireless. So with the transformation of 5G and the mobility that's available, there's reach has extended. Now people are, expect to have more and more functionality available on their devices as they move around. And that's another driver for how the core, the network and the edge where we sit drives transformations in that area. So this introduces new kinds of requirements on the device for the user experience to have. We need to be for all the different kind of traffic that's been generated. Things that drive our technology transformations like high bandwidth for the mobile broadband. So they've solved the problem for for doing self-driving cars. You have low latency communication as a requirement. You want to watch your augmented reality or any kind of traffic that's generated. That network is being shared by your stuff that you're being for doing your gigabytes of transaction second, and then there's tons of smart devices that are going to actually provide the same kind of blow up the internet traffic, and they will share the same kind of network and go across the same edge that we talked about. And typically, you'd want somebody should have a device. I'm at home. I want parental control to work on from my child's phone in my home, the same that it should work in, when they're in the car or they're connecting to their friend's house. And these are the drivers we believe that drive this transformation. And so from our point of view, we say, how does the fixed network offer these capabilities and services? So the three things that are driving this, we believe, is the first one is disaggregation. And then there's the convergence of standards as we see it, and the emergence of the cloud native architecture and virtualization that allows us things to exist at scale. So what do we mean when we say disaggregation, the BNG? This control plane and user plane separation has already been done in the mobile networks. But if you look at your traditional deployment architecture, you have a BNG, which is typically communicating to a control plane interface and providing service delivery to your home or your business. With the broadband firm's standardization, the CUPS architecture has been implemented, and then the control and the user plane of the BNG has been separated, and allows for more seamless delivery, as you will see, is a driver for this environment. So what are the benefits? You'll see that these are standards based. A single control plane would actually manage multiple user planes, providing the ability to have smaller user plane for low density areas, a larger user plane for different density areas. And also a user plane could be implemented using existing legacy hardware, where you can have some sort of intermediation to get that level of ability to be controlled. This allows for resiliency and provides a simplified control plane with these access and seamlessly provides simplifies the operational network to look similar to what you have today. So what do we actually mean by how we see the convergence appearing? So our vision is that the AGF and UPF is effectively virtual BNG with 5G control interfaces. And I'll try to show our point of view. So typically in a 5G RAN radio network, as previous speakers have already spoken about, there is a UPF with the entities that make up the service delivery architecture of the control plane for the disaggregation for in a wired for in a 5G or mobile network. And a comparative similar picture that we've taken from the Broadband Forum, you'll have a FNRG and an access node that's talking to a BNG, which goes to AAA and provides your network services through your core. So what we have seen is that, the network services are, based on the 5G standard convergence. It's the proposal of an AGF and a UPF being proposed to provide convergence when the 5G RGs show up in people's homes or businesses, riding over the access network. So if you look at the functionality in our vision, that the UPF that you're using for wireline is going to be a little bit unique because it is not exactly the same that you would end up using in a mobile environment, where you're expected here to have 10 times the bandwidth from your home, and then because of the nature of the access network, the edge cost requirements and the guarantees of service delivery, whether you have a 10 megabit service or 100 megabits or a 10 gigabit service coming into your home or business, these are the elements that have to be managed by this combined display. In addition, because of the N3 tunnel between the AGF and UPF, it requires you to take out the S1U GDPU tunnel and D tunnel and provide access to the network. So what we visualize this is that you touch the packet once, ensure the kind of services that you want to provide on that packet, and allow a converged access to this service to this environment. Now, how does this fit into the existing cloud? This is the third pillar. This is a common architecture that we want to exist. What we're leveraging is the entire cloud native infrastructure that's been leveraged and built out for the mobile core, where you have all these the COTS-based infrastructure with a Kubernetes or Tanzu or Linux platform that's being readily available, where you monitor the stats. And what our function provides is that you basically have your containerized functions, the AGF, BNG, and WAG seamlessly exist and are added to the telco cloud platform that is expected to that the network is evolving towards, based on our conversation with people in the industry. So what I would say is that the way we've designed our solution, and we've envisioned this, that we complete the entire solution, the enabled wired and wireless convergence. The thing that I will highlight is the most 20% of your traffic is going through the RAN radio network, and 80% of traffic that's coming from your home goes across your fixed access network. We see the convergence driven by the innovations in the 5G environment, like low latency, network slicing. How do you aggregate and use that to provide services? These are being standardized in all 3GPP on the Broadband Forum and also with Cable Labs. And this enables you to provide not just manage the device, but also individual, not just route gateways, but also individual devices and functions within the home. And that's what we enable. So in summary, the basic feature is that your BNG, which is now combined with the AGF and the UPF. And this leads to your combined containerized solution. And the thing that you need to be successful is that you need the cloud native environment with seamless integration into an existing telco cloud. And the disaggregated user control plane will provide you more consistent look and feel, and that your existing investments for providing these services would be future-proofed. So that's in a nutshell of what my presentation is about.